snowy festival interval fades and the stalwart defenders return to the problems blighting the Trove Islands. More specifically, these are the dark elf threat from the north and the hobgoblins from the south. The party also hopes to keep the Arcane Academy in Port Sovereign on side, as its senior faculty members could help Khadira return to her native land and time, as well as imbue Cecile's sword with great power. Khadira and Old Jenny guide the stalwart defenders back to the archaean catacombs to retrieve the bodies of the Arcane Academy students Professor Eldon Malik formed a Dispater cult with. Exploiting the surface-borne portal to access the catacombs once again, the party fights 4 repulsive so-called beloved of Dispater, which Khadira blasts to pieces with one enormous fireball. Sadly, the nearby bodies, the reason for the company's return, are reduced to a collection of strewn body parts by the self-same spell. These are packed into a crate, as the party also takes items of jewellery which could be used to identify the former students. The party displays the grisly cargo and the signet ring of Linwood Atwood, one of the missing students, to Chancellor Donglebury at the Arcane Academy. They persuade him that they were unable to stop Malik before he led the students to their deaths. In a sense, this is not entirely false. The Academy's bursar, also the lecturer in chronomancy, for which read time magic, tells Khadira that the works of the great chronomancer 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘯𝘰 are still to be found in the museum in the abandoned city of Sunderberg on the Kriegsring. These priceless works, if they can be recovered, may hold a clue to getting Khadira home. Returning to the Leffield house where they had been lodging, the stalwart defenders see the head of 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘯𝘰, the drow assassin who had attempted to kill Kristen. Her father, the city executioner, had taken pride in finishing the Dark Elf himself, and the drow's head now adorns a pike. The party, after having agonised for some time over what to do with it, finally turns over the memory orb to the city council, which sees within the sphere the horrors of the massacre of Shardhaven, the elven city which became the drow capital, 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘯𝘰, in full detail. Khadira and Old Jenny bring the head of 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘯𝘰 into the council chamber and persuade Archbishop Buenaventura to temporarily resurrect it so that it can testify against Maester Kolodjets. Wanting only to return to eternal slumber, the weary drow soul complies and reveals all. As the disembodied head returns to death, the Chief Justice is writing the warrant for Kolodjets' arrest, even as Mayoress Kristen is giving the order to do so. The understaffed city guard are unfit to take down a powerful foe such as Kolodjets. Are the stalwart defenders up to the job? The villain is to be found in his mill on an island just off the coast from Port Sovereign. The short boat trip to Kolodjets Island gives Cecile time to reflect on the sinful nature of having been resurrected after the fight with the snowmen in the Wonderworld forest. To be brought back to life via the magic of mortals contradicts the teachings of her faith. What powers might now be denied to her by her patron god? However, having put to land and drawn close to the mill, Cecile and her companions have to focus on the job at hand, killing or capturing Kolodjets, the now former Maester of Port Sovereign. In the lowest level of the traitor's mill, accompanied by the ceaseless grinding of a slowly rotating millstone, the party is reunited with number 4, the mind-reading Nothic with which Khadira had an encounter shortly after the Battle of Quarry Hill. Unfortunately, fully numbers 1 through 5 are all present as well, slowly rising from the individual packing crates in which they live, balefully turning their single, unblinking eyes on the party before attacking. With the Nothics dispatched and having ascended to the next level, the party find a bottle within which a ghost is imprisoned. The captured spirit mimes from within its glassy confines that one of the group should say the word millstone to reveal the second layer of a puzzle. At the utterance of the word, a bizarre wall-mounted contraption opens, and a clutch of tokens with undercommon letters written upon them floats, as if prompting the finder to rearrange them. The stalwart defenders solve the floating rune puzzle to spell Kolodjet's name in undercommon. Old Jenny finds a staff of charming, no doubt one of the many tools which the former maester used to insidiously rise to power in Port Sovereign. However, the contraption holding the staff also releases a great many more bottled ghosts. The party will soon learn that the ghosts are souls displaced from bodies Kolodjets stole over many centuries, into which he transferred his own spirit in a ruthless attempt to cheat death. The disembodied ghosts are hungry to return to mortal bodies and attack the party, but, like the Nothics on the floor below, are also vanquished. In a room, which given its preponderance of books must be Kolodjets' library, Mayona finds Ludo, an extroverted, fast-talking drake who was only too happy to turn on its captor and tell the party how the ghosts came to be trapped in the glass bottles. A mill can only be so large, and eventually the stalwart defenders find and corner Kolodjets in his study. He offers them a deal if they escort him from the Trove Islands. The party are having none of it, however. Khadira summons lesser demons to bolster their ranks. Kolodjets counters, summoning a troop of lesser devils. Seeing as demons and devils are sworn enemies and care little for the concerns of their mortal, temporary masters, they tear straight into battle with one another, eagerly continuing a much older war. As it becomes clear to Kolodjets that he cannot win this fight, he teleports away. The stalwart defenders are the last ones standing, both devils and demons having neutralised each other. In the sudden lull, 𝘚𝘤𝘰𝘮 finds and translates a scroll found in the study. It is half written in Giant, a language he can speak, and describes a magical item called the 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘯𝘰 of Loki. The party follows the trail left in Kolodjets' magical escape from the mill's blockhouse to the small estate's tower. On the ground floor, they are attacked by wights, which rise from the shallow graves and the bare earthen floor. These are the remains of former bodies Kolodjets used to prolong his lifespan, which have presumably outlived, if that's an appropriate choice of word, their usefulness. On the tower's top floor, Kolodjets has summoned Balvranok the One-eyed, a devil far mightier than those the wizard convoked to protect himself during his first encounter with the party. In the fight that follows, as the company close for the second time, the stalwart defenders are battered by both the devil and Kolodjets' magic, but 𝘞𝘰𝘮 delivers poetic justice by killing the former maester with a drow dagger. Khadira finds the 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝘯𝘰 of Loki, which, as per the scroll found by 𝘚𝘤𝘰𝘮, is covered in frost giant runes. If only it can be deciphered, it will open to reveal an artifact from a long-dead race of elves. In the tower room, a portal seems to lead to the interior of a ship. Is it? Could it be the woman scorned? That's 𝘚𝘤𝘰𝘮𝘯𝘰𝑰𝑗 ship, the one used to provide diplomatic immunity to the drow ambassadors. It would make sense given Kolodjets' now unmasked alliance with the Dark Elves. With the former maester finally dead and his residents apparently pacified, the stalwart defenders take a much-deserved rest in the tower. During a dream, Khadira sees her brother in the care of Dispater, Archduke of Hell, also known as the Infernal King. The death of her brother has tormented Khadira for years and led her to meddle with magics which ultimately brought her to this unfamiliar part of the world. As the dream unfolds, Dispater summons Venger, yes, that Venger, from the future via a portal. Venger, confused, seems to recognise the boy and begs for Dispater for Khadira's brother not to see him. Sending the youngster away, Dispater commands Venger to gather the 7 sacred artifacts of the elven races. With these, they will have enough power to tame Lubomir, daughter of Tiamat, and from there take over the world. Back in the waking world, on the following day, the stalwart defenders step through the portal into the lowest deck of the Woman Scorned. The ship is breached in places and is flooding. The party meets 𝘚𝘤𝘰𝘮𝘰𝘮 and some of his men below deck. The Woman Scorned has been invaded by devils, sent as revenge for 𝘞𝑰𝑟𝑎x's failure to keep the drow ambassador alive. Despite his crimes, 𝘞𝑰𝑟𝑎x is standing by his men. Apparently his dealing with the drow was just business. Princess 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝑒𝘮, daughter of both Queen Ariadne of the Drow and Dispater, is leading the attack. Shadow Devil, Venger's servant, is also present. The infernal shade tells the Drow Devil Princess that one of the 7 elven artifacts is on the ship. Lord Venger's orders are for her and her devils to find it. 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝑒 considers Venger beneath her and balks at taking orders from him, but the elven artifact is too good a prize to give up for the sake of pride. The artifact is the golden sickle of the Wood Elves, which 𝘞𝑰𝑟𝑎n, the former party member, had tracked down. Having been captured and taken aboard the ship to be sold into slavery, 𝘞𝑰𝑟𝑎n hid the artifact as best he could. Luckily, the stalwart defenders find the golden sickle before the evil devils. Speaking of which, the party tackles 𝘞𝘰𝘮𝑒's infernal host on the top deck. Fearing what will befall him if the Drow Devil Princess is killed, Shadow Devil's spirits 𝗞𝗍𝗄 via a shadow portal to another dimension. Having fumbled an attack badly before this, the devil is forced to leave its vorpal blade stuck into the deck of the ship. Knowing 𝘚𝘤𝗮𝘀𝗀𝗃 is wanted for slavery in Port Sovereign, Commander 𝘚𝘤𝗰𝗍 makes a deal with the ship's captain, sign the woman scorned into service during the upcoming war with the Drow, or face justice. Luckily, the woman scorned was moored not far from Port Sovereign when the party used Kolodjets' portal to reach the ship. Back in the city, the group shows the head of Maester Kolodjets to the council as proof of their success in dealing with him. The Archbishop has the head taken away for curing, in case later resurrection proves useful in uncovering the city's enemies' plans. In a shock move, 𝘚𝘤𝗍𝗍 uses his commander's rank to promote 𝘚𝘤𝗮𝘀𝗃 to Admiral of the fleet. Apparently the one-armed man places a great deal of faith in his control over the scurrilous seamen. From downstairs in the chambers of Congress, a scream is heard, "Spiders!" The party deals with an infestation of giant spiders to find that they have come up from the cellars below. They find a Drider, chained up but in full health. They defeat it, but the Drow beast puts up a hard fight. Why a Drider? Why chains? One thing's for sure, the encounter foreshadows something bigger and suggests the loss of Kolodjets may have forced the Drow to play their hand against Port Sovereign. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to follow the adventure as it continues to unfold. Thanks also to the great Callathiforay players, past and present, for their characters' backstories and for their role in creating the world.